Oh, before I go, I wanted to answer Fuse. Fuse asked me one question. Fuse said he's 16 years old and he just finished studies and he doesn't know if he should work or study. Okay, this is what I can tell you. You have to find out exactly what you like to do, okay? And sometimes at 16, you have no idea, you have no clue what the fuck you want to do with your life, okay? That was me when I was 16. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I'll tell you exactly what I did. I found my passion by just getting into something. So on weekends when I used to party, one day I was like, you know what? I want to make money. I want to be like the YouTubers. That was the beginning of YouTube. I want to be like YouTubers. I had a passion. You need to have a passion. You will not succeed if you don't have a passion. My passion was I want to be as big as that YouTuber, right? I want to be able to use gaming to make money, right? And it's fine to have money. I know a lot of people say don't have money as your next goal, right? Yeah, it's what they're trying to say is don't be money hungry, because when you get the money, it's not going to be that fun anymore if you just have money and that's it. What I'm trying to say is having money as a goal is good, because without money, we all know we're not going to survive, right? So what I'm trying to say is I wanted to make money, not because just because of money, but I just wanted to travel the world. I want to be able to do more games, buy more games, do all the stuff that I want to do. So my point out of all of this is find your passion first. So what I did was I got into the gaming industry by making videos on YouTube. Then I found out about this ambassador job for League of Legends tournaments, and it was a shitty job, man. And I didn't need the money, and it was a really low paying job. And I did it anyways on the weekends when my friends went out to party, because I thought I loved the status of being able to tell my friends, hey, I'm an ambassador for League of Legends. Even though it was a shitty job, I acted like it wasn't, right? I acted like it was like an ambassadorship. They call it an ambassadorship, right? So what I'm trying to say is I don't know why I stayed in that job, even though I didn't need the money at that time. I stayed because, first of all, I liked being in the gaming industry. I liked having that title that I'm working and my friends weren't working. I like that. You need to have that in you. If you don't have it, you need to force it down your throat. I was lucky I had that. Like I had a better feeling that I was working when my friends weren't. And at the same time, I told you I didn't need the money because my family is well off in terms of like we don't need the money to survive. But at the same time, we were not really rich. I wasn't able to do all the stuff that wasn't able to have my PC and all this. So what I'm trying to say is from that is I like the fact that I was getting like the extra 50 ringgit, the extra 100 ringgit to be able to spend on what I want to spend. So I had the luxury that when I made that money, I didn't have to spend it at home for food or anything. I could spend it on myself. So I wanted a new mouse. I didn't have to ask my dad anymore. I remember every time I went out and I wanted to buy a PS4 game, I always had a problem because I wanted to buy two. I didn't want to buy one, I wanted to buy two. There was two games, I wanted to buy both the fucking games. But my dad and my mom were like, no, just one game. And I understand why. Why the fuck should they buy like 2-3 games from you? If they buy two now, they have to buy 3 tomorrow. So the fact that I worked and I was able to buy 2 games now, you know, instead of one, that made me so much happier. So it just started off like that. Then I was lucky and I worked really hard at the same time because I managed to find more auditions, more jobs that got me into this. It's a long story, but I'll tell you guys the story later on when we have more time. Basically, Fused, if you're 16, for me, the degree that I got, I was studying till last year. I'm 22, so I was studying until 21. I would have been able to go a lot higher in the gaming industry in terms of streaming, in terms of video content if I didn't study. If I quit 3 years ago, because I am not using my degree at all right now, 0%. I just took it from the university. When I was done, I kept it in the room, never used it ever since. But that's because my line of job doesn't require degrees and I can survive without it. But who knows, in the future I might need it. So my parents forced me, that was a deal when I joined, when I wanted to work, they forced me. They were like, you know, the reason that we'll let you work is if you finish your degree. So I made that deal with them, even though I didn't want to continue. So I finished it. And that's what I want to tell you, Fuse. If your parents are paying for you, you have to shut up and listen. Okay, in a nice way. I'm saying it in a nice way. Like, they are paying you. Think of it as human beings. If you owe a debt to someone, you have to follow what they say. You owe that debt to your parents, even though you're not close. I'm just assuming, right? Let's say you're not even close to your parents. They're paying for your food. Yeah, you owe them that. So if they want you to continue studying, and right now, honestly, you don't have a plan, study. And the reason I continued studying at that time, I didn't know. I mean, now if I go back, I might have not studied, because I know, looking back 3 years, I could have done so much more in gaming. But back then, I made the right choice because I didn't know I'm gonna get this far. I didn't know I can make a full-time living out of this because I just started out. I was just making enough money to buy an extra game and that's it. So I would never quit my studies, my future, to do that. Now it really depends on what you want to do. If you want to do cooking, for me, depends on what you want to do. There's so many things you can do. You can become a YouTuber, right, and make millions. Or, yeah, if you don't have the hard work, if you don't have the talent, you have to be honest with yourself. If you don't have those two, you will never make it on YouTube, right? As someone who can make millions out of just instructions for cooking. So yeah, you can go the traditional path of hotel management, learning how to cook, work in a restaurant. If you're hardworking enough, you make it to the best restaurant, but at the end of the day, you're still getting a salary. There's so many ways to look at it. For me, I like getting paid part-time for emceeing this show. You end up getting more money and you're more free, right? So it really depends, but I did my part for that, right? I worked when I was 16 to get there. So the gist of it is, I think we'll talk about this later. I don't get to talk about this all the time, but I really care about you guys and I want you guys. I know how hard it is. Sometimes I'm sitting, even now, like even earlier today, I was like, God, there's so many things I want to do on my Instagram, but I've not been doing it. Sometimes I feel lost, like what should I do? Because like really no one has the answer, not even your mom, not even your dad, not even yourself. So I'll tell you what I did, and I think you should do that too. You're 16, you don't know what you want to do. I mean, you know you want to get into cooking, you like cooking, but you never know. In 3 years time, your passion might change, right? Unless you die hard want to go cooking. If you die hard want to go cooking, then follow your fucking, ideas. Whatever you think is right to do for cooking. If you die hard, yeah, go for that. But if you're still 90% sure, 10% unsure, which I was with gaming, what you should do is at the same time work part-time. Okay? Find something. Even if that means making YouTube videos, cooking instructions, or that means making an Instagram account for cooking, or that means going in and working in a restaurant, a bar, part-time. Do that and do the studies. So do the hotel management because you can learn the knowledge from there. I was unlucky because computer science was not related to gaming, but imagine if I did media and at least there was some video editing, it could have helped me get better at video editing. So if you know what you want to do in terms of your passion, you can study something. And if in 2 years time, let's say you've made it, you've gone huge in the cooking industry, then fuck, you can let go of your studies if you've already made it. But don't let go of everything unless you're kind of sure about where you want to go. That's my tip to you. I think you should still, since you're 16, if you were 25, I would have said something else. I would have said go and work. But you're 16, man. Even if you go to uni, you end up, even if you go to college and uni, you'll be 20. You are early actually. So you'll be like 20, so it's not too late. So, but it will be too late if you don't start working now. Work now, okay? Literally, guys, this is my advice to you guys. No matter how old you guys, if you guys are above 15, 16, you should start working now on whatever your passion is. But Faraz, what will you do when you get old? Are you forced to leave streaming? So that's why I said degree first. No, dude, it's not. The thing is, dude, you have to look at it this way. You can never go into streaming thinking of it as a full-time job. Do you think anybody, an electrician, will go into an electric company and think like, I'm gonna be here for 40 years, my life is fully settled? No, they might kick you out after 1 year and you might be bankrupt for 5 years after that. It's the same thing with streaming, a little bit more volatile. So when you go into streaming, no person in the right mind will just say, I'm gonna stream and this is it, man, I'm just gonna make money here. No, if you look at the top guys, right, they do so many businesses. They start making their merchandise. They make money out of merchandise. They start getting sponsors. They save that money. They put it in a bank. They're getting money out of the bank every month because it's a huge sum of money, right? Then they take that money. They invest in stocks, Facebook, Google, shit like that, if you're smart. So no, if you make it to the top, you should never just stick to one thing. That's how people do. If you look at any millionaire, any guy who's ever been rich, they're never making money from one source. It's always from different sources. So what to say if my mom says mass media is not a permanent job? Mass media depends on what? Then you have to prove them wrong, man. Do you think when I first started gaming, my parents, they supported me, don't get me wrong, they really supported me, but do you think they thought it's a permanent job? Why do you think they asked me to continue studying? Because they didn't think it was a permanent job, and I don't blame them, dude. Who knew esports 3 years ago would be this big? Mobile Legends didn't even exist to this extent. So they are right if they don't believe in it, because you can't really see it yet. We see it because we're young. So your job is to prove them wrong. That means work your ass off for the next 3 years, get more money than your dad or your mom income wise, or not even the more money, just close to that, achieve something in the mass media industry, and then come back and tell me that they don't agree with you. The moment, I'm telling you, any parents, the moment you, like, let's say you buy them like a nice watch, like they're like, how the fuck did you afford this? Then you show them like you won this thing, an award, or like you got, you know, 1 million subscribers. Do you think they will not accept you? You just have to prove them wrong. In a nice way. I'm not saying tell them they're fucking wrong. No, in a nice way, by showing that you can. Despite all the opportunities, modern life studies can always provide you with qualifications if you aren't able to adapt to the changing world. Exactly my point. Aha Gandhi, that is exactly what I mean. Because for a lot of people, studying is the right way. For example, doctors. You have no other choice. You cannot become an Instagram doctor. You need to freaking study everything. So that's that. A lot of people are not intuitive in terms of adapting to the world. So if they try to do what I want to do, they will fail at it. So they have to go the traditional way. They try to do, like, you know, businesses, you know, like this, like, you know, they want to make businesses, entrepreneurship and all that, but they fail because they're not risk takers. They're good at following orders, and to a point they can get really high position like Facebook and Google, but they can never be the boss. They can never be their own boss because they get lazy. Like, they can, like, for example, I had that problem before. Like, I still have it. That's why my brother helps me out with everything. Like, he's technically my manager. Like, he helps me out with everything. Like, if I need to do something on time, I'm like the creative side. He's like the mathematical side, like the analyze, the organization, because I like know how to make videos and everything, but I can't keep my schedule right, you know. So he tells me, do this right now, do your stream now, then do this. So a lot of people can't do that on their own. Like, what I want to do, I can't do it on my own. That's what I mean. But a lot of people try to do it on their own and they can't. So they need to go fall back on the, you know, on the qualifications that they have. Education is important, kiddos. The stream, you guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys to the freaking bits. Okay. Sun goes, Valir goes, Dicky goes, and Mino goes, Kaya goes, Nana goes, and the Angela goes, Cortez, and Clean goes, and the Bane goes.